Today, David DePape, the man who attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband Paul with a hammer, was sentenced to 30 years in prison. This attack, which we've covered previously on the channel, took place back in 2022. And last year, he was found guilty of attempted kidnapping of a federal official, as well as assault on the immediate family member of a federal official. Now, despite the final sentencing of 30 years, he does still face state-level charges that include attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse, residential burglary, false imprisonment, and threatening the life of or serious bodily harm to a public official. And we have to discuss this because this is like a stopping point on the quest for justice in this horrendous act of political violence. But regardless of the justice, Paul Pelosi is still suffering and will likely suffer for the rest of his life as a result of the attack that he experienced, saying, "For months, sleeping alone in my house was very difficult because I kept remembering the defendant breaking into my house. The defendant severely damaged the nerves in my left hand. My forehand was degloved," that's a tough term, "exposing raw nerves and blood vessels. Surgeries and treatments mostly healed the skin, but underneath I still feel pinched nerves in my left hand. This makes basic tasks like using buttons, cutlery, and simple tools more difficult. I walk slowly and I have difficulty with my balance. Nearly every day I get headaches that become migraines unless quickly addressed. I need to sleep during the day and cannot tolerate bright lights or loud noises for extended periods of time." And so his hand obviously injured, obviously his skull, which was cracked open with a hammer, was injured. And of course, this was politically motivated. And before we discuss, I just want to remind everyone that despite this being something that literally everyone in America should unambiguously condemn, that has not been the reaction from the very beginning on the right. And I want to remind you of what they've had to say about this, starting with this video of Rachel Campos-Duffy.
So here's who I thought America's frat boys, they could use the Medal of Freedom. Donald J. Trump, he never gives up on America. Elon Musk for absolutely caring about freedom of speech. How about the truly peaceful protesters of the pro-life movement, the ones that are in jail right now? Kid Rock and John Rich, we know they love freedom.
True.
Riley Gaines, the classical school movement, you and I can appreciate that. And how about our US Border Patrol?
Oh, that's a great list.
They care about America.
How about the guys that cleared out Colombia? I'd like to add them too. Whatever you, but it's probably more likely to go to Paul Pelosi, Susan Rice, and Gavin Newsom. So I think your list is correct, but a little off-brand for Big Joe. Rachel?
Yeah. Well, maybe Paul Pelosi needs the hammer instead of the medal.
Well, that was just a couple weeks ago. The guy was almost killed. And they think that it's hilarious, and they've been joking about it from the very beginning. The adult fail son of Donald Trump posted once, "Got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready. See, I'm gonna dress up like the guy who tried to murder Nancy Pelosi and almost murdered her husband." It's funny. He's a family member of a notable politician cheering on the attempted murder of a family member of a politician. And Carrie Lake, by the way, once said, "Nancy Pelosi, well, she's got protection when she's in DC. Apparently her house doesn't have a lot of protection," drawing laughs from a crowd. This is who they are. Again, I'm sorry that we're focusing so much on political violence, but this is how you get so much of it when you make it a joke on the right and you encourage people to kill, to maim those they disagree with the guarantee that they'll be legally protected if they do so.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you. The only silver lining here is that this didn't happen in Texas, where Greg Abbott would have almost certainly pardoned DePape as he did with Daniel Perry. If you try to murder left-wingers in Texas, you'll get a pardon. In terms of this question, this is a topic for debate? I don't know if the right wing realizes how insane they look to the rest of the world. Every right winger, no, but the right wingers that are defending and joking around about DePape, oh, that's so funny. He smashed Nancy Pelosi's husband's head in with a hammer, while the poor guy got woken up in the middle of the morning because this guy broke into his house and he was in his underwear. So that's so funny. Like when we try to murder you, it's so funny. Okay, let's turn it around and do the same exact thing, same exact scenario, but let's see if the right wing thinks it's funny. Imagine some crazed left-winger broke into into Mar-a-Lago and smashed Melania's head in with a hammer when she was in her underwear. Just saying that out loud, like, makes me feel awful. Like, that would be horrible, horrible. I hope everyone in the world agrees that would be horrific, right? But when it happens to Paul Pelosi, the right-wingers, tons of them, don't care at all. Like, yeah, we smashed the head in with a hammer. And then, like, you asked us to vote for Republicans. You asked us to vote for Republicans. Look at the president's sons. Imagine if President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, thought it was super funny to smash in the heads of the spouses of Republicans. Carrie Lake's husband, we should go into her house and smash the living crap out of his head with a hammer. Well, look, what would we do on the left? We would banish that person immediately. We would say that's 100%. A disgusting, horrible human being, doesn't represent any of us, etc. But on the right wing, they're probably crying today. Oh no, this poor hero, this mentally deranged right-wing Trump fan. Oh, I wish he was in a red state so we could pardon him. Get out of here, man. Who the hell's gonna vote Republican when you have these lunatics in your party? And I don't mean DePape, I mean the people celebrating DePape.
I mean, you can add DePape too. Let's be clear. Here's the thing. I'm a little upset with the charges. Why is there not a terrorist charge? You could have added 10 extra years to his sentence. Literally, this is a terrorist. You do terrorist acts for political reasons. This is exactly what he was doing. I don't understand why terrorism wasn't a charge that the federal charge, the prosecutor didn't add on. It's absolutely disgusting that this is our reality. And you're right, Cenk, when you said the scenario, and I know you didn't want it, you don't want it to happen, and that's not what you were saying, but you was that hypothetical about Donald Trump's wife. And I got chills when you said it. It was that damn disgusting. But Republicans, even when it was fresh, they were making jokes about this. Not just when years passed. When it first happened, I remember horrible stuff coming from elected officials about Paul Pelosi. And to hear that his hand was degloved and his skull cracked, and knowing that he's gonna spend the rest of his life dealing with those injuries. And these people think it's fodder for political jokes. And it's absolutely disturbing that Fox allows those people that we just listened to stay on their TV. It is disgusting. It is disgusting, but it also shows you that the bar is so low right now to be a Republican, to be serious. I mean, hell, look at my state. Mark Robertson, a person who had no political background at all, is about to be or running to be governor in my state, and he has a damn good chance of winning. And some of the things he say about this situation and others are equally dastardly.
Yeah. No, he's an absolute monster on 1,000 different topics. I'm glad that he's gonna go to prison. And obviously nobody can ever expect anything to happen to Don Jr. He's gonna fail his way through life. I am curious about the Fox News, like, Cenk, if I made a joke about the victim of an attempted assassination and talked about like, hey, maybe he should get the hammer, wouldn't I be in trouble? Like Rachel Campos Duffy isn't even a high profile person that like necessarily has a lot of protection. I haven't seen her apologize. She didn't get censored. She didn't take off the air. She just keeps going on. We didn't get him that time. Maybe we get him next time. Then she just moves on. Yeah. I feel like there should be some sort of consequences.
Look, we have two golden rules at TYT: no lying and no threats of violence. It's non-negotiable. Period. Not close. Okay, and so. But apparently not everybody agrees. I mean, again, if you threaten violence against a right winger, then the whole world will collapse in on you, and you'll be considered an international pariah, and there'll be congressional hearings, etc. But if you joke around about one of the most vicious assaults of my lifetime, to the husband and spouse of one of the top politicians in America. Tons and tons of right-wingers, including Donald Trump Jr., think no big deal, no big deal. On Fox News, no big deal. There'll be no consequences. But I could name you 1,000 hypocrisies from the right wing. Yeah. A lot of times, look, one side celebrates violence and thinks violence is a normal mode of operation. Because it is, for them, it isn't about freedom or democracy or any of those words that they've used their whole lives. It's about power, no matter how you get the power.
The final quick thing, what I love about Rachel Campos Duffy is not just that, like all the stuff that they say about family values and all that is fake. As she's delivering that line about how funny it was that he was hitting the head with a hammer, she's wearing a cross. A cross that means less to her than it would to me as an atheist.
But not only that, John, look, just to answer your question even more fully, if you suggested that some right-winger's husband or wife should have their head smashed in, I would think that you lost your mind. Like, I would do a wellness check. I would try to get you counseling. I'm not kidding, right? Like, that is mentally deranged. And we just showed you 2 clips, guys. I've seen dozens of clips and tweets, etc., celebrating DePape and thinking that it's no big deal. And so if that's no big deal, then we're definitely headed towards fascism.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, also, let's be clear. I mean, Republicans out, this new Republican, these are the people that back the blue again. They also laughed at people that were beating police officers with American flags. So, I mean, we've almost been desensitized to what it means to be Republican in this moment. And this is, I'm not capping for the Democratic Party. That party has its problems. I am saying, though, you have to be morally deficient to be a Republican in this moment.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.